Hello. So I've been using WPM to start a few tasks here and there. Seems to be a great fit for these sort of small utilities that you want to make sure start up at boot. I like the config syntax better than the 90 different places you can start things from Windows. But you are then left with the sort of startup zero problem. Where do you start WPM from? So I had been starting that from a scheduled task, but that system is kind of a weird nightmare and a pain in the butt. And this is something you really just want to be able to easily set up once and then just rely on it to start WPM at boot, and then also be able to very easily stop and start WPM maybe from a command line utility. So to that end, I started building a script to sort of do some of this for myself, and it turned into a bit of a monstrosity. It is we'll call it a proof of concept script called wpmdctl, right? So the intention is to manage WPMD itself, and it does a couple other cool things, I think. Disclaimer, it is completely vibe-coded PowerShell. It can most certainly be done far more efficiently than this, but I have been using it, and it does seem to get the job done. So it's a single PowerShell script. I've got it included here in my path. So we've got a couple of important options. One, we've got create. So this creates and registers the scheduled task. It doesn't start it, just creates it. Then we've got destroy, opposite, tear it down. wpmdctl state will show you current status of the registration, status of the task, and then if the task is running, it will conveniently run wpmctl state for you, just so you can get a nice output of everything all in one shot. After you've registered the task, you need to run a start. So that's just going to issue a start to the Windows task scheduler that'll then start the task. If you have things that are set to auto start, they will launch. Bob's your uncle. You're good to go. Another cool thing that I added is a command called start watch. So if you run wpmdctl start watch, it'll issue the start to Windows Task Scheduler to launch the task, but then it will run wpmctl log and attach to the stream and basically wait for the output message that the socket is listening. So, normally you would probably start it, and the first thing you're going to do is go look at the logs. So let's just wrap it up in one nice little command. So there are a couple of additional useful commands for starting things. We've got start services all. So what that's going to do is use wpmctl units to grab the path of your unit files. It will parse them to determine the service names, and then issue a wpmctl start for all non-one-shot services that are not currently in the running status. Next is start services auto. So clearly, this will happen when you start WPMD, but if you happen to be doing any testing and you just want to trigger a start for services that are tagged as auto start, that'll do the trick. It also parses unit files to figure that out. And then another useful potentially command is a start all. That's just going to start the task and then kick off a start command for all non-one-shot WPM services. Those all work pretty well. Then we need to be able to stop things. So first is wpmdctl stop, and stop task is an alias. They're basically the same thing. Now, if you stop the service, that's just going to kill the WPMD process, right? Which is not clearly going to tear all the services down, right? They'll still be running sort of detached from WPMD. So two ways you can do that. One is you can do a stop services first. That'll basically roll through all services that are in the running state in WPM, issue a stop, and then good to go. The other thing you can do is a stop all. So that will basically run stop services to take the services down, pause for 5 seconds to make sure everything's stopped, and then it will go in and actually stop the running service using the Windows Task Scheduler. So let's see this thing work. First, go Komorebi. Let me go to my bottom window and start up a log session. Come up here to the top. We'll run wpmdctl create, because we have to create scheduled task. There we go. Now if we run a get command here, right? Again, yeah, we can see that the task has been created. As mentioned, this doesn't start up the actual task. This just registers it. So then we're going to run a wpmdctl start Now I could just do start, which is start the process, but start watch is cooler because then you actually see the log output in the window as well. Let's kick it off. There we go, started the service, and you can see all the services are launching. There is my YASP bar and Komorebi up and running. So we're good to go. We can now run a wpmdctl state. Oh, it looks like YASP didn't pick up Komorebi. I think there's a race condition. I have to start one before the other. In any case, let's run wpmdctl state. So it first shows that the scheduled task is registered. Current status tells you that it's running. And since it's running, it comes in and now just dumps the wpmctl state output. Again, just a convenient command to see everything all in one shot. So to go the other direction, right, if I'm done with all of this, or if I'm doing some testing, right, we'll do a wpmdctl stop. Now remember, if I do stop, it's just the task. So I'm going to do a stop all so that it kills all the services, and then it goes and stops the task. There we go. Stops all of our running services, stops the task. Now to fully tear everything down, we do a wpmdctl delete. Or not delete, destroy. And now it's all gone. Oh, if I could type, that would be good. There we go. Task is gone. So again, proof of concept, big, ugly PowerShell script, but I found the workflow, I think, to be handy when sort of developing units, sort of testing my startup and stop commands to make sure they work. So hopefully someone else may find it useful too. Cheers.